If you could state your name and where you're from.
I'm Mayor Chuck Chiarello. I'm from Buena Vista Township in Atlantic County. I'm also president of the New Jersey State League of Municipalities this year.
And what brought you here today?
The whole concept of doing something that could perhaps bring new life into all sorts of issues that, I don't know, sometimes get set aside between the news and the negative effects of the world. When I heard the title and I read the description of Creative New Jersey, I said, that's for me. I do want to be part of it.
Great. Why do you feel that a conference like this and sort of the design of the conference, why do you feel that's important?
Well, it was unique. It's different from many conferences I've been at. It's kind of a little bit of a free-for-all, and at the same time, it sort of somehow or another takes some structure in the process. And I think it's a good opportunity for individuals to develop the topics that they want to talk about, as opposed to here's the agenda and we'll be talking about this, this, and this, and then we can go home. So I did like that concept. It's very unique.
Great. What were some of the topics that were discussed in the groups that you attended?
Well, I of course tried to find topics that were more particularly of interest to me, but being that I'm an elected official and I've been doing that for 20 years, I had some topics that I picked out. The first one was people before politics, and a gentleman was conducting that who was a pastor. And we had a very lively discussion about perceptions of politics and what people can and can't be empowered to do. I joined another seminar that had to do with improving economic conditions in your town, kind of like downtown revitalization. And I had been to some of those things before, but I almost felt the way the group was set up, I was able to get a little bit of a personal insight to my particular town. I mean, while I'm representing the League of Municipalities, I also still have to look after the home front. Got some neat ideas and some things I want to try from that discussion. And then yesterday I had my own group, which was basically trying to improve the image of government by saying that government is good and there are a lot of good things that come out of it. And I started with a very small group out in the atrium over there. And then somehow or another more people came along, and then another group on government innovation kind of merged with us. And the next thing I know, we were moving to the hall with 30 people down the hall to another room. And we had a terrific discussion. We spent almost 2 hours. We had Chris Daggett join us for that discussion for the bulk of the time. And I got to talk about a lot of issues as a mayor that we're dealing with now, but being able to feel out how the group thought about those. Anything from shared services to politics in general to the media. And I'm going to tell you, I was ecstatic. I really felt very comfortable, and I felt that everybody there wanted to contribute, listen, and interact. And there we had, you know, a couple of young people involved who were from Montgomery High School in Somerset County, a young man and a young lady, and I don't want to say devil's advocate, but they kind of became the devil's advocate on some issues, and that livened up the debate and helped give us some views of that generation gap. And I think it, all in all, you know, just turned out to be an excellent session.
Right.
Couldn't have done better if we had planned it. So that's, my experience has been all but good. All good.
During the discussions, were there any ideas or views that were new or interesting to you?
Well, I think that if we ask people how they feel, we'll find out. Sometimes we get to the world where everything is so superficial, we really don't know. You know, they'll do a poll, they'll make the phone calls, they'll do some kind of statistical thing to prove that they're right about a particular issue, but I think hearing it directly from people and seeing how it, you know, interacts with the organizations they represent and all. Like, for example, I had a lot of interaction with people from the arts, from museums to State Arts Council to other arts groups, and I happen to be fond of the arts. I happen to be a believer of doing what we can in my particular town. We have an African American Heritage Museum. We do summer concerts for our seniors and community, and we started out years ago doing 5 a year, and then 7 and 9, and this year we're doing 11 concerts. And to hear the amount of cutbacks and leaving certain groups just hanging out there financially, that really startled me. That somebody made a decision somewhere to literally put certain things out of business. When I was in the economics session, the folks were there from Main Street, New Jersey. Could help hundreds and hundreds of towns, but their budget and staff has been cut back to almost nothing. And right now they're facing perhaps a zero budget in 2012. So, we also, in the good government discussion, we talked about New Jersey Network being pushed aside to be filtered to a New York organization. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I think we have enough talent and skills to produce what we need right here in New Jersey. So those type of things were things that struck me and how people reacted to them. I found that in the case of the New Jersey Network issue, which was near and dear to my heart, it was near and dear to almost everybody in the room, okay? And sometimes you're just going on the assumption that somebody has done some research, somebody has done some forethought on making something happen, and this just sounds to me that it was mostly a political move. And the next thing we know, we have a contract with a company from New York, and we're changing kind of something that wasn't broken. I understand the part about maybe taking some of the expense off of the state's back, but you could have kept the news and cultural part of New Jersey Network intact. And that's kind of what I heard from people out there. So it was pretty awesome.
From your own personal experience, what is an example of creativity that has been an inspiration to you?
Well, trying to, like in my town in Buena Vista, we're in the Pinelands. We have little chance of any economic development. And we tried to do something, and we're still trying to do something with bringing back a little rural railroad village in our community. And we did a lot. We got a lot of grants when grants were available, but now grants are not available. So we have to try to find more creative ways to get people interested in the project. We believe it's a good project. We believe it's a little different for New Jersey. We're in the backyard of Atlantic City, about a half hour away. But Atlantic City is now at the point where they want more other types of attractions to bring people, not just the casinos. So I've liked to know that I can do something creative and find support out there for it. Same way with New Jersey Network. I think there was probably a more creative way to resolve that. I heard a great proposal by Montclair State University that could have probably done the job over sending it to New York. Now, some of the groups are going to collaborate with the New York folks, WNET, but it just doesn't seem like it's the right thing when you have a chance for homegrown product. The other thing is that I think that people should have the chance to speak more freely and openly, not just on the internet, that they should be able to have dialogues in their community. One thing that someone said in session yesterday afternoon was that all the people involved in the school district should be required to go to a number of school board meetings just so they really know what's going on. That in itself would be creative because they understand the complexity. When people come to complain about something at the municipal hall, they're coming there just with their problem. It's on their street or their particular issue. And at the same time, they missed the whole rest of the story. Like everything else the town is doing good for you in regards to taxes and picking up the trash and taking care of the parks. And I think we have to be more creative in getting our message out about government being good and that there is good news and it's interesting.
Good. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Cover everything